Hello, gamers. Your ears are in the right place. You're listening to I Never Cast for this episode 8. And we are a podcast dedicated to bringing forth discussions or debates on controversial gaming topics and hopefully putting them to rest. And today we will be talking about battle passes. But before we get into the topic of the week of battle passes, let's do our introductions as usual. So returning to the podcast for the billionth time, we have Arebus. What's up, Arebus?
How's it going, man?
Good, man. What's new?
It's good. Not much. Weather's starting to turn a little bit in a good way. I was out in a t-shirt and shorts today, so it was for the first time. Last week there was a bit of snow, so
I know in most parts of the world,
that sounds ridiculous to everybody else, but yes, in Newfoundland, that's a big deal. Yeah. So it's finally the weather's starting to turn, so we're getting the yard all ready, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of time outdoors. So it's a good time.
Yeah, we'll go more into that in a minute, but we also have Athrikus returning for the second time. Welcome back, Athrikus. How's it going?
Thank you. It's going just fine. How are you?
No, I'm great, thank you.
Good.
It's my favorite time of the week. It's perfect.
Good.
Yes. And returning also for the second time, he was previously on the free-to-play versus subscription episode, but he's back again. This is Recusor. How's it going, man?
Good, thank you. If I wasn't here, I would be spending about 8 hours straight playing Stellaris, so thank you for saving me from that.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem. So just before we get into just some discussion, let's just I'm just going to go over the format of the show. So we're every Monday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and that you can always find us live on twitch.tv. And the episodes will also be found on YouTube as well if you want to rewatch the VODs there. We're also available on most major podcast networks, and we're still awaiting confirmation from a few, but hopefully by the end of the week we'll be on most of them for sure. All right, so that stuff's out of the way. So Recusor, we haven't heard from you in a while. The podcast had been on a little bit of a hiatus, and we haven't casted since September 2017. So give me your full life detail from September 2017 until now. Go.
Oh, man. Been working a lot. A lot of social skills in the job that I do. But I'm still working from home right now. I'm very lucky right now. I know a lot of people can't do that, so count my blessings. More importantly than what I've been doing with work, though, is what I've been playing. Lots of Dead by Daylight, Rainbow Six Siege, Stellaris, Europa Universalis 4, some Dota interspersed here and there until I get too sad with my life. I'm finding more and more I have a short attention span with games, honestly. I can't do games that you can't either reload or if the rounds last too long. So I have video game ADD.
Are you a fan of like roguelites and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. There's some really good ones that are out there now too. It's a golden age for roguelikes in many ways, actually.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, I think that attention thing comes with age, and we, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So Arebus, you said we both had snow last week, and then today was nice for both of us. I think, even though we live in different parts of Newfoundland. But what else? So what else is new with you?
Not much. Still grinding Pokemon pretty hard. Pokemon Sword, and I've been very busy with my son this past week, so getting little 10-15 minute bursts in. The Switch is the ultimate dad device, as I think we've said before, so it's really good for that kind of stuff.
Yes, it is.
That masterful sleep button that you can turn on and off. So I've spent most of my time, free time, doing that, and then and spending time with the kids. So it's I just found out I'm probably going back to work in mid-July. So similar to what Recusor just said, very grateful that I'm able to work from home and spend a little bit more time with my family and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying the moments while they last.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome, man. And Athrikus, what have you been up to since last week?
Trying to catch up on sleep. Not a whole lot else. Just playing with the kid as much as I can. Gaming any second I can, but don't have too much time for it right now. And then probably heading back to work in a couple of weeks tops. So
Oh, all right.
life will
Well,
kind of get back to normal. So we'll see what happens.
you looking forward to that? Well, I know last week you were saying,
No.
yeah, you would rather just stay home all the time.
I'd rather be just a stay-at-home dad and do whatever. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. So for me, because I think I usually forget to talk about myself. I usually just move on after I after I talk to you guys about that. But yeah, same with me. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon when I can. Pokemon Shield with Arebus and our friend Albondiel a little bit. But yeah, other than that, it's the same thing. I've been spending a lot of time with my kid and our puppy. Our puppy is arguably more work than the kid right now. He's just frantic and he's just nuts and he's biting all the time and trying to get him not to pee on the floor and all that kind of stuff. He's doing well. It's tough with both him and my kid at the same time. But yeah, what's that?
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Super cool.
yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. So there's no such thing as being bored. It's pretty frantic with them all the time. But yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, and yeah. Besides that, I don't think there's a whole lot. Let's move into the gaming news. I don't think there's anything major happening in the world right now of gaming. I know there's an Xbox event coming July 1st, and that's like a first-party event. It's for Xbox Insider. I know the last one was extremely underwhelming for a lot of people's standards. I know they were expecting gameplay trailers and all that stuff, and that's not exactly what we got. But they are touting that this July 1st one is worth getting hyped over. They're showing a ton of Halo Infinite. They're showing a bunch of different first-party games, and Microsoft really wants to knock this out of the park, right, in order to make people hyped over Xbox. Are you guys planning to watch that event? Are you excited about that? Or
I had my heart broken by Microsoft. They say the first cut is the deepest, and honestly, the Xbox One interface, it just killed it for me. Arebus was saying it best with the Nintendo Switch, the magical sleep button. Like, I found it so difficult in some cases to download certain games and play certain games and navigate user profiles compared to so many of the other devices. I honestly don't know if I'm in for the Xbox. We'll see.
oh yeah, interesting. Are you still planning to watch that press conference though, or whatever it's called?
I'm not that interested in it, frankly. Like between PC gaming and PlayStation 5, I don't know.
Even though a lot of the games are coming to PC, like Halo.
A lot of the ones that are on both, I don't find myself playing that much lately. I feel like I'm a bitter vet sometimes. It's terrible, honestly.
That's all right. You're entitled to your opinion, even if it's wrong. But that's fine. So that's cool. What about Arebus Athrikus? Are you guys planning to watch this, or you don't really care? Or what?
No, I've been tuning into the Xbox stuff. I'm more curious to see how, I like the Unreal 5 trailer and all that stuff that we saw, and how they kind of the games look through that new stuff. The Xbox, I think again, maybe it's more the dad thing again, but my PC gaming is drastically decreasing as time goes on. So I'm finding the whole couch gaming type thing is more appealing to me lately. So I'm just interested to see where Xbox takes it. And we're, myself and Keltharr and Athrikus are and a couple others that we play with are pretty into, NHL and some of the other sports games and stuff like that only appear on console. So it'll be interesting to see if they show anything, any sports games or anything that'll be coming out for console in that regard. So I'll definitely tune in. I'm still kind of on the fence about, where they take console gaming, because it's always exciting when consoles first come out to see how they translate to where the current iteration of PC gaming is. But it's hard to say for now where they're gonna go. But it is exciting to see the rapid pace of technology.
Yeah, I'm just a sucker for like brand new hype trailers, like that Smash Ultimate trailer when that was first announced, when they showed the Splatoon character and like the Smash ball in their eyes. Like, oh my, that was amazing. Right,
that Cyberpunk trailer with Keanu was
like stuff like that, right? Like that stuff is hype
and everything. Oh, that was insane.
Yeah, that stuff is awesome. So I'm hoping
what event
for
was that
something
one
like
for?
that. Sorry, go ahead.
What event was Keanu for? That was
what?
it Gamescom or something like that?
It was E3.
It was
I think.
Gamescom?
it was some kind of
I think it was E3 last year.
Was
might
it
have been
E3?
E3.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. It's still relevant.
Yeah, you're breathtaking. That comment is
Yeah.
legendary.
The whole thing was just amazing.
Yeah,
Hearts and minds.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that, like that's why I'm excited for this event. Like I'm excited to finally see. It better actually be gameplay. It's got to be. I mean, Halo's coming out in like November or December, like whenever the console launches. So, yeah, I'm hoping a lot for that. Athrikus, what about you? Are you planning to get the next Xbox, or do you not care about this conference at all?
I don't know. I didn't know there was a conference. I'm actually really happy to hear that there is a conference coming, because the last one was certainly disappointing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, if they can just show a couple of actual like people playing games, that's all I want, man. I just and
That's the key, man. Playing the game.
None of this
Playing
in-engine
games,
crap. Like
no.
show a HUD, show someone actually looking around and doing stuff. Yeah, like
Something. Yeah.
That's what.
Put someone on the stage, sit them down with the controller, and actually play it. I don't even want one of these like pre-recorded playthroughs either. Like, give me something that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
That there's so much risk in that though, because like if
Yes,
it's a semi-difficult part and they keep screwing up and they're trying to get to like the main part of the game, that would be.
I don't know if I would mind
embarrassing.
that, man. I mean that's fine. Maybe have a couple people like or like a lot of save files or save points or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, just to put it out there, we're talking Halo right now, right?
sure.
In particular. I mean, how many times have we done Halo level? We know where the enemies spawn. We know approximately how many enemies are going to come. Like, if they have somebody practice that for 2 weeks, if that's their full-time job, trying to get that run just right, and they can figure out neat ways to throw a gimmick in there,
That's true.
I want that.
I mean,
That'd be
they're not going to do it on Legendary. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah. Showing us where the skulls are right away.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Other than that, though, I haven't been able to find any notable news really worth talking about, unless you guys have heard of something.
I took a quick look. I didn't see anything major.
Yeah, I mean, some PS5 specs were revealed, and some of the pricing was talked about 4 or 5 days ago.
Oh, the pricing for the PS5?
I believe so. PS5 pricing.
Oh,
I'm
I'm actually really curious.
I didn't think any pricing was announced yet, but
Analysts, I suppose it is.
Yeah.
Analysts are saying between about 470 to 499 USD.
No, okay.
We'll see. We'll
I'm
see.
pretty sure Xbox is going
That's
to
a-
undercut whatever they do too, so that would be awesome if that is their price.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Gotta say, that's one thing that's really nice about having the different platforms too, right? There's something for everybody.
Yeah, and we talked about
awesome.
this a bit last week too. Like Xbox and PS4 and PlayStation are always at each other, right? So there's constant competition. Nintendo's like, whatever, we can have Joy-Con drift. Who cares? Like, if you want to play Mario, you're stuck with us, right? So that's.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what-
Competition is a good thing.
absolutely, for sure. All right, I think we're ready to move into the topic of the week. So topic of the week is for this week is battle passes. Okay, so we've all heard of battle passes, but in case anyone is not quite sure, does anyone want to give a brief lowdown of what a battle pass actually is?
Yeah, sure. And with what I'll say, how about if anybody disagrees or thinks there's any additional clarification, please don't hesitate to pipe in. I would define a battle pass as a feature that is available for a limited time that allows you to progress and get rewards that would normally not be available if you didn't have the battle pass. Is that a general enough description?
That's good. Yeah, you got the key points. Limited time, right? It's only for a certain amount of time. Could be a month, maybe 2, a season, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And there's items that you can get that you have to get through this battle pass.
Yeah.
So the battle pass essentially got popularized with Fortnite. Okay, it was around before that, but Fortnite is what made it huge, and that was in 2018. I feel like Fortnite's been out forever, but like I think Fortnite was out before that, but I think the Battle Pass is when it started in 2018. Since then, though, Battle Passes have become a lot more, I don't know if rampant's the right word, but there's a lot more games that do have it now. Just some games I have listed here. Black Ops 4, Rainbow Six Siege, Destiny 2, PUBG, Rocket League, Dota 2, Dead by Daylight, and there's definitely more out there, but those are just some that came to me when I was making this list. Okay, is there any more top of your head that you guys know of?
Did you say COD?
He said Black Ops 4.
I said Black Ops 4, right? Yes, because Modern Warfare has one too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Recusor, did you have another one?
Counter-Strike Go actually introduced one.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I believe that Team Fortress 2, in addition to hats, also has Battle Pass functionality with it now as well.
Oh, right on. So it really is, starting to get very, very widespread.
And
sure.
Did you say Brawlhalla as well? Brawlhalla just
No,
announced.
yeah, Brawlhalla. Yeah, forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yep. So how does a Battle Pass differ from regular DLC?
I think the biggest thing is that with regular DLC, when you get it, you can access those features at any time.
Yeah.
With the Battle Pass, there's more restriction on when you can access it, and in some cases, you can pay more money to ensure that you can access things before the time limit is up.
Yeah, that's true too. So you're saying, when you buy DLC, you get whatever the DLC is instantly. But for the Battle Pass, you need to buy it and then actually earn your way through it to actually get everything. And sometimes, like you said, you can pay more to get everything at the end if you're running out of time.
Well, just to put out a quick example too, so let's use Skyrim as an example. Like with the Skyrim things, you still have to progress through the story to unlock things, but you can do it 2 years from now, and you'll have access to exactly the same things.
Yes, right. Yeah, so the time is a big thing with the Battle Pass as well.
Yeah.
So what does a traditional Battle Pass look like? So Arebus and Athrikus, you both are playing a lot of Modern Warfare. What does it look like in that, for example?
The Battle Pass in COD looks like you kind of has your levels out, so it's level 1 to 100, and you progress through those levels and unlock different things like skins for your gun, skin for your guy. Could be like I got a Tamagotchi watch at some point throughout the Battle Pass. Really weird stuff, all cosmetic, nothing that's would be considered an advantage in the game. I don't believe. But they have some. It is time gated, so I think it's 45 days or so.
That's about right, yeah.
Per season, and you can pay money to buy tiers in the Battle Pass, which I think is common with a lot of Battle Passes. If say you buy it and you're behind, there's only a couple days left, or you get late into the game or something like that, you can buy 10 tiers or 15 tiers or whatever. Or really, if you want to spend all your money, you can buy it all the way to level 100. And I think in COD, like for example, for Athrikus, I know like one of the last things was a skin that he really wanted. So I think they usually try to do that, as they put the best stuff at the end, so that if you're not playing at a ridiculous pace, you spend some money at the end to get it. But for COD, it's mostly. It's similar to other battle royale games. It's like 100 level system, similar to Fortnite, and cosmetic items.
I think that's the standard, isn't it? Like I don't know if they all do, but I'm sure a lot have that 1 to 100 system for sure.
Fortnite's 70.
Fortnite is
70?
Is it?
I think Fortnite is 170.
No, Fortnite's 100.
Is it 100?
Yeah,
Something's 70. Maybe it's Rocket League.
might be Rocket League.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that summed it up really well. So there's a bit of controversy in that this model is in free-to-play games, and I don't think there's any disputing. Well, I guess we could, but battle passes, in my opinion, are okay in free-to-play games because the game is free, but they need to make money somehow. So putting a battle pass in there may work, but AAA games now are starting, like Modern Warfare, are now throwing battle passes in there. So do you guys personally have an issue with Modern Warfare having a battle pass, even though you already paid $60 for the game?
No, because the battle pass is for you can play Warzone completely for free. So the battle pass in the game, you don't have to actually buy the game. The just to clarify for people listening that when you buy Modern Warfare, the buying version of the game is the classic Modern Warfare. It's like the PvP that everybody's familiar with, team deathmatch, all that stuff. Warzone is the battle royale mode, and that's you can get Warzone for free. You can use the battle pass and not have to spend any money other than outside of the battle pass that you're buying. I did have a big issue with it in Black Ops. I believe it was in Black Ops 4, wasn't it, Athrikus? Yeah. So in Black Ops 4, they didn't do that. You had to buy the game, and then they put a battle royale in, which was really bad. It was awful, and then they had a battle pass in that. So it was like, I don't know, $100 down the drain after.
Wow.
After doing all that, they got a lot of heat for that, and I think that's part of the driver for why Modern Warfare did it the way they did. But I personally, for me, I agree with Keltharr that for free to play. I don't mind it for the games that I've experienced, but I would certainly not support it in a paid game. Definitely not. So
the Battle Pass doesn't affect anything in the regular Modern Warfare game at all?
It does, I think. Does it, Athrikus?
How do you mean?
Does the battle pass
you can use from the Battle Pass to from multiplayer to Warzone to whatever.
And Arebus's camera just dropped, and we see his empty bowls and all sorts of stuff on his desk. Nice.
Yeah, that was awesome. Don't know why
I purposely have my desk hidden, so yeah, don't worry, mine's no better.
Yeah,
but okay. So if you were someone who was only playing Modern Warfare, like the regular game, would you benefit from the Battle Pass at all, or is it intended for Warzone?
No,
you would. But again, it's not forced. Like it's not. You don't need the battle. Again, it's the battle pass is only cosmetic, and the whole interchangeable thing between Warzone and Modern Warfare is to me is fine. They have an entry into the game that's free. That's the biggest thing for me. So even though it's not the same game as Modern Warfare per se, it's still your guns transfer over. Everything's kind of there.
Yeah.
I think, but I didn't feel like it was predatory personally. For me, I didn't, but I can see some people thinking it is if you're only into Modern Warfare.
So you're saying as long as you can enjoy the game itself without buying it, then it's okay.
Yes, I would say if the Battle Pass doesn't infringe on, like if the Battle Pass is unlocking or adding features that greatly enhance the experience of the game and really are, if you don't have the Battle Pass, you're at a significant disadvantage. So what I'm thinking of, it would be like for example, MMOs, like the free to play version of MMOs, like the very stripped down versions you get for like the Old Republic and ESO and all those other games, where like if you don't pay the monthly fee, you're getting a very bare bones package of that MMO. I don't feel like that in the MMO, in the battle royales that I've played. I haven't felt like if I don't buy the battle pass that I'm not, like I'm still getting the core game experience through whatever I'm playing. But I've to clarify, I know Recusor probably will weigh in here because he's played more other games or a completely different genre of games than me. But for my experience with battle passes has primarily been through the battle royale genre.
Yeah. So the battle royale genre, I think is pretty straightforward, right? Like they're normally 100 levels or so, and you pretty much unlock skins as you go up. But Recusor, you have experience playing. I know Dota 2 has a battle pass system and a few other games. So how does it work in those kind of games?
Yeah, well, I'll talk about Dota 2 first. It's very timely, in fact. Just today, as we're doing this, they launched the newest battle pass. And as I was looking into that for this discussion, when you let us know about the topic, I ended up getting it myself again. I looked into the features, and it's like, oh man, it's $10. Maybe I'll get back into Dota 2. So one of the main things about the ones for Dota 2 are that they have both battle passes and a subscription fee. So this is interesting. So to be clear, just to go from the beginning, Dota 2 is an entirely free game. The battle passes are seasonal, which means that it's limited from time to time. And in addition to that, they also have a $5 a month USD subscription service. That subscription service gives you access to a variety of features. But the biggest issue that I have is definitely with the seasonal battle pass. So with the seasonal battle pass, you have a progression system. You can go through this. It's almost exclusively cosmetic things, but it does let you have visual effects in the game. And in a game where you have to gauge what's going on around you, it's a 5 versus 5. There's spell effects that are going around. If there's an effect that you don't recognize, it can be enough to throw you off for a moment.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is a cosmetic effect. It has no bearing in the game, but it's like if it makes somebody click away for even a moment, that's a success in my mind. Yeah. So it's just a small thing. But one of the biggest things with it too is that as you're progressing, you gain access to loot boxes. With the loot boxes, you can't get the same one twice. However, there are ultra rare options that you have a low percentage chance of getting, and you are not guaranteed to get them. So if you buy over and over and over again, that's how you have a better chance of getting the ultra rare ones that are in there. That I'm not comfortable with. That is gambling.
So if I'm understanding, if the more you buy, the better chance you have of getting an ultra rare. Am I understanding that?
It's not even a better chance, right? That's the gambler's fallacy in a way. Basically, there's, let's say, in one treasure cache, just as an example, there's 5 normal cosmetics, and every time you open, you'll get one of those 5, and you'll never get a duplicate. However, after that, there's 2 more that are rare and then ultra rare, and those are the ones where you would have to buy over and over again in a hope of getting it.
Right. So, yeah. Man. I thought we were done with this stuff, with loot boxes.
Right? And I know, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've done an episode on that, right? So...
yeah, we had some more like I think we talked about like pay to win type stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
There was something on that, like loot boxes and pay to win and all that stuff.
Yeah. We
right.
discussed that. Yeah.
Now, to go briefly to what was mentioned about how at one point Athrikus was near the end of the battle pass, wanted something at the end. Same thing in DOTA. But honestly, in DOTA, there is no upper limit. I personally know somebody who spent over $400 on their seasonal battle pass. I don't know if he had a spending problem. I don't know if he actually had that much cash. If he was willing to pay for it, there's a value there, But I don't know.
And you just and that's all
crazy to me.
That's all cosmetics, right?
All cosmetics.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's vastly different than the games that we have played, like Fortnite. Fortnite had one that went up to level 100, and I remember they had the John Wick skin or whatever it was at the end of one of the seasons, and I was like all over that because John Wick is one of my favorite movies, and so I'm pretty sure I paid a bit of money to get to the final thing, but there's no once you're level 100 in the battle royale games I've played, there's no other. I can't even imagine if there was a limitless. I can see how that would be. Yeah, if you're addicted to a game and that's just there, that you can just spend money and get. So is the limitless? Was that is it loot boxes and stuff that you can get just continually?
So I shouldn't say limitless. There is a limit. I think it might be something like level 1,000 or level 1,500, maybe even level 2,000. But it's such an upper tier that it doesn't even matter anymore. Really, like if you can spend $400 or more on it. I'm sure if we wanted to do more research, I could find out what the actual upper tier is.
You can be level 2,000?
Yeah. There's whales. Have you guys heard the term whales when it comes to things like that?
Heard the term what, sorry?
Whales.
No, I haven't myself, no.
So, Arebus, I heard you say, do you want to sort of let me know what your idea of it is? I've heard about it in the past briefly, but...
In terms of whales?
Yeah, like when it comes to... not the actual animal, but like people who tend to buy a lot, and like a lot, like
that's all I know about it. That's all. I've just seen it on Reddit. People calling them whales when you have people that are dropping major dollars on battle passes, or on. But I've heard it generally with just games in general or DLC or whatever, wherever you can just spend a ton of money in games. Like
Yeah.
As I would think, and people that are just going to spend an absolute crap ton every single season.
every single season, every single time. Yeah.
As we're talking about it, I don't think we had a chance to. I don't think I had a chance to float this idea to you guys, but Star Citizen comes to mind too.
There you go.
But different, not a battle pass situation, but you can spend a lot of money on that game.
Wasn't there a ship that was like $100,000 or something?
It's a lot.
That's almost about the concept of pre-ordering, and how you can. Anyways, you can just drop a whole bunch of. There's a lot of games out there that have the ability to spend a lot of money on. But the battle pass for me, like like Fortnite, for example. I think we all got the battle pass. That people that played Fortnite with me, they all got the battle pass generally, because it also adds like a quest system in the battle royale mode. So Recusor, I'm not sure if you're familiar with battle royales too much, but like obviously the concept is you drop in and you just try to survive till the final circle and win, right? And the circle just keeps shrinking. But the battle pass in Fortnite would add a quest system where it would say drop in this area and find this specific item that's in this house, and there was all these different types of things. So you're doing that it kind of varies your gameplay.
Yeah.
So it actually kind of counters my original argument. So that actually did enrich the gameplay quite a bit, but by having the battle pass and having those quests.
That's interesting. Can I describe to you Dead by Daylight's recent implementation of this for Halloween 2019?
Go for it.
Yeah. So it's similar in that they added, for everybody though, this is important. So they added a bunch of new free features to the game, and in addition to this, they made it so that you have a parallel path you can take if you pay for the battle pass that simply nets you about an extra 75% rewards, including some of the in-game currency that you can use on any of the in-store market. But they made it so the challenge system, very similar to what you're describing, to try to get you to play and to go to certain places in a certain way and guide how you're playing, that was free. So that was neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So to me, that's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's still allowing people playing for free that they can still enjoy the full experience, but if they want to have a little bit more, then they can do that. The battle pass too.
It might be worth noting the base game of that is $21.99.
Yes,
well.
but that game's been out for how long?
I think it came out 2016.
Yeah,
so they're doing a pretty good job. There's a significant amount of content being released as well.
Yeah. And as Arebus was saying too, like I think with Fortnite, like I bought the season that had John Wick. I played that season. I don't.
Nice.
I got the battle pass that season, I should say. I don't think I got another one after that, but we did pick up Fortnite a couple months ago, and we were playing it a lot. And I know Athrikus and Arebus both had the battle pass for that. But I was still playing with them, and I didn't spend a cent, but I was still having a blast. So like to me, as long as the core game of any game that has a battle pass is good and it's still really fun, then as long as the battle pass doesn't take away or isn't a pay to enjoy kind of system, then I think that's fine. Right? But kind of segue. We had a good segue because we were talking about kind of exploiting gamers like your friend who had to spend $400 to get like a whole bunch of skins and stuff.
Yeah,
but like
the skins looked cool.
I certainly hope they
just
did.
Saying.
Yeah. But do you think that gaming developers are kind of like exploiting gamers that might have obsessive habits or gaming addiction? So, for example, like those who must collect every skin in a game. Like, I know, for example, like if you're someone in Fortnite who wants to collect like every single skin, and you have to buy the battle pass to get it. And you're like, no, I need to have every skin in the game, therefore I have to buy this battle pass. And if you're some kind of completionist, like if you're a completionist type gamer, okay. Athrikus, we haven't heard from you in a while. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, do you think that developers are kind of being exploitive with this?
I don't think they're being exploitive. I mean, they're providing something for people to purchase if they want. I mean, it's the same as saying, LCBO or the beer store is, living off of drunks and alcoholics. I mean, they're providing something that people can buy, and there's going to be plenty of people that are going to purchase this and enjoy it reasonably and not spend all their money. But I mean, obviously, there's going to be in most things that people sell, like cigarettes, whatever. There's going to be people that just buy it all and need to buy it all and want to buy it all. I think there's ways that the companies could help with that, whether like having an option to say, hey, I am an addict, please limit my spending to X, and then you cannot spend above that without calling in or opening a ticket or saying and say, hey, take this off my account. Kind of like a parental control.
That's actually a really good point.
I think that would be fine. That would be nice. I don't think they will do that just because they want people to, they want that extra money. And I don't think they're obligated to do that by any means. But I don't think
if a company did that, though, they get a lot of major props.
Yes,
from the game. So I think people would want to spend money there, right, just for doing that, right? I never thought of that.
That's awesome. They'd be that would be nice if they would do that, but you never know.
With the Dota 2 Battle Pass as well. As I was buying it, they made it very clear there was a 2-day return period as well.
Okay. So I assume if you return, you lose the skins or whatever you got in the process.
Yeah, you would lose any of that unique content, but yeah.
But that's good. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Anything that's pro consumer. What do you think about that, Athrikus? Arebus. Do you think there's anything exploitive about that with people
Athrikus?
Athrikus, yes.
I don't think it's exploited. My issue, I prefer the battle pass systems, and I don't really care what they do. Again, if it's not affecting the core experience, I much prefer that to games putting out 5, 6, 7, 8, DLCs that I have to buy to progress to the next stage of X game. The battle pass is really exciting for me because we could be away from a game for so long, like Fortnite, and then a new season comes out. It's all over Twitch. It's a good way for the battle pass is good for the game developers too, because it kind of, people leave and get bored of a season and then they come back for the next season just to see all the changes and stuff. So it's a pretty simple process for them to kind of entice people back, and then Twitch goes nuts, and we cycle games based on that a lot of the time. But I much prefer, I don't find it any worse than anything else, like anything else that I don't find it predatory, at least in the ones that I've played. I've certainly played things that I find predatory. But in terms of battle passes, I haven't seen it. I like Athrikus's idea of having some kind of parental control. I don't know if they'd ever do something like that, and maybe that's almost a third party thing that could exist that would apply to lots of different games. Maybe a company could do that and give us credit for the idea. Support the podcast a little bit, but no, it's. I think I think it just it takes advantage of people's. I think games in general. I'm going back. I'm arguing with myself now, but games are designed to. You can tell that they're designed to take advantage of those, addictive practices. But I do like the way the market is going with battle passes that I've seen, anyways, where you're not, like you said, with Fortnite and stuff. You can just play the game and enjoy it, and not, if you don't have that addictive personality, then you could just enjoy it and not pay a dime if you don't want to.
Yeah. So what would you guys prefer? Would you prefer like an expansion pack, or would you like it to stay the same way with seasonal battle passes? Like I know Pro Green Knight in chat said, it kind of sounds like WoW, like bringing everybody back and making it socially relevant again. Like they release new expansions every 18 months or something like that, or every 2 years. Like, would you prefer that with different games, or like just spend like another $30 or $40, or do you like the way it is now, seasonal battle passes?
I don't think we have to limit it to just one. I think Fortnite's a good example of giving you an expansion for free. Like they will alter the game over time, especially Fortnite does it all the time. And that's just a free DLC. Well, not DLC, just a free expansion. And then that also brings people back to buy the battle pass. So I don't think it's mutually exclusive. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just a preference, really. Like, so you would rather, would you rather the seasonal battle pass then over paying?
Overpaying like $30 a month or something, or not $30 a month, but a $30 or $40 expansion? Yeah, I think so. I think the battle pass is definitely the way people are going, companies are going, and I think that is my preference at least.
Yeah, because what Fortnite could do, and it probably the model wouldn't work as well, but they could theoretically make a big expansion pack that, and with a season that lasted a lot longer, but make the rewards also have a lot more rewards, and maybe have like 300 levels or something, right? And they could have an expansion pack that just lasts a lot longer, similar to like maybe not as long as like a WoW expansion, but or maybe more like a Destiny expansion, right? Because that's kind of what Destiny does. Destiny kind of does both, right? They have expansion packs, and now they have a battle pass too.
I think people would rather spend $10 here and there than $30 every like 6 months. I think seeing $30 over seeing like $9.99 is a big deal for people.
But then there's the issue of if you're playing 4, 5, 6 games at a time, and they all have battle passes, what are you going to do then?
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know if people. True. I don't know.
You know what that actually reminds me of? That's almost like the television conundrum. Like you have to get more viewers at any one time. You know, like these companies are now vying for gamers' attention enough to make them click the buy button, and sometimes more than once, right? And then it's like, okay, we need to get their attention again somehow, and again, or maintain it. And then is that reducing those players from going on to other games as well? Like with me, where I flip-flop so much, like I've had it where I have like 4 battle passes, and I will progress like 20% of the way on each, and that is not satisfying.
Yeah. And for me, like I played COD all the way up to getting level 100 on the battle pass, and then I stopped cold turkey. Like as soon as it was almost like I just obsessively had to get it done because I had committed so far into it that for my, I don't know if it's personality, I don't know what it was, but I had to finish it compulsively, and
and that comes back to the obsessive thing, right? Like, is it kind of exploitive of people who are like that, who are trapped and they can't play anything else? Kind of like when we were all addicted to WoW back in the day. We felt guilty for playing other games because we felt we were paying for our subscription fees. We had to keep going back. But our battle pass is kind of doing the same thing, kind of roping people in and making them feel bad for playing other games because there's so many rewards they still need to collect by the end of the battle pass.
Can I share something?
You sure can.
So you remember how with DOTA I mentioned they have the $5 monthly fee that you can just maintain? Guess what I figured out I've been paying for the last 8 months while not playing the game.
There you go. It's working as intended. It's like the Netflix announcement that came out where they had like hundreds of thousands of people that they're like canceling accounts now because there's like a ridiculously high amount of people that have Netflix subscriptions that didn't know they had them, or like haven't used them in months. It's like I think it's over 1 million actually that they said.
Well, I can kind of imagine that. It's like, imagine if you have your own account, you just leave it on repeat. Maybe it shows you don't have very good fiscal management, but then you switch over to a family account or something, right? Like,
exactly.
So I guess that's pretty good on Netflix.
The only issue I have with the battle pass for the games that I've played is I think we talked about this in other podcasts with different topics, such as it might have been achievements, but I could almost argue or look at that. Is it hindering game development when you have a battle pass that is designed like to, okay, we're going to add a couple guns here. We're going to change this. We're going to put this cool thing in. We'll change up the map a little bit. We'll do a couple things here and we'll call it a new season. Mm-hmm. And that gets people back. And then they put some cool quests and achievements and different things in it throughout the battle pass. So it's addictive, but for people that want new content, they might argue that they want the DLC model where it's a whole new game or a whole new expansion.
Is it a lazy way? Is it a lazy way to bring people back versus like WoW making a brand new expansion, a whole new continent to explore, and new abilities and new classes and stuff like that? Like, is it trying, like you said, is it just altering and tweaking a few things here and there just to tell people, hey, we're still here, come back?
I feel like that is, and I'm just thinking out loud, but I feel like they're kind of the same thing. It's just instead of putting something out every 45 days, they hold everything back and put it out 1,000 things at once. I don't think it's a lazy way to do it. I think they're just giving you it as they make it versus, hoarding it all and give it to you as a big package.
Yeah.
So you're saying that if Fortnite didn't do the Battle Pass model and did a DLC model, you think it would be in the same place today?
I don't. I think the Battle Pass model is better personally. I just feel like expansions are just a culmination of, a bunch of season passes all at once kind of thing.
Yeah, expansions are more robust and in my opinion show a lot more effort than a battle pass does. I'm not saying battle passes are necessarily a bad thing, but like you said, battle passes are just little micro changes. They might add a few items here and there, like in Fortnite and stuff like that. But
well, just to put it out there, with Fortnite and with Dead by Daylight as well as a good example, when they're adding these quests, right? It's like, what takes more manpower and thus money to generate? Making a whole new cosmetic item, or just suddenly tracking data that was probably able to be tracked before and just manipulating the UI, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's much cheaper. Money talks, honestly. Like,
but it's true. But is it
the
still
battle pass they can make more? They can, just to end that point, the battle pass they can make more money as well, because like you got to think of when you're in a battle pass. As I mentioned, in a lot of these battle passes, you can buy tiers. You can buy things within the battle pass itself if you want to, which you can't do in an expansion or a deal. Like it's less for more money for the for them. Even though I guess it's more frequent though. To Athrikus' point, it's more, the DLCs are spread out over a long period of time, so they're come in chunks. But the battle pass is every 30, 45 days typically. Is that how long the battle passes are, Recusor, in the games that you play, or is it typically 30 to 45 days? That's what it's like for us.
Yeah, well, so for Dead by Daylight, the latest season that's going on right now, it lasts from April 29th to July 8th. So May.
It's a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Dota 2 is usually seasonal, so I think this is basically the summer battle pass. And then there's going to be a winter. Sometimes there's an autumn one. There might actually be 4. There might be 4 a season now. It might actually be that frequent. And they make so much money, guys. Like, with the battle pass, it's usually ended up being synced up with the international, with a lot of the money going into the prize pool. And I think last year the prize pool was $17 million.
Yeah.
Holy moly. That's insane.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm hearing a lot of money. And yes, I know companies need to make money, but like, whatever happened to just making a good game for the sake of making a good game? Like, if you...
Yeah.
Like, and
Did
I know...
anybody really make a good game for the sake of making a good game?
Say it again?
Did anyone actually... Who has made a good game just to make a good game? Other than, like, indie devs and stuff that, maybe they won't make a ton of money, but they make something because they like it. We get that, but most of those guys aren't very big.
So you're saying there's no... Like, are you talking about single player or multiplayer, or both?
Well, I mean, I guess both. I mean, I don't know of many, like, companies that are going to just make a game and be like, we make a couple bucks, that's fine, it doesn't matter. We'll keep pumping this out. Again, other than, like, the small guys that, enjoy it.
Yeah, look at Nintendo. Everything they do is, like, amazing, and what you buy is what you get. Yes, they do have DLCs, but like Breath of the Wild is hundreds of hours of gameplay, and Smash Bros. And all these kind of games.
But they know they'll make millions, hundreds of millions of dollars
and
off of it.
Nintendo's interesting too, right? Because Nintendo has such solid control over what the prices are, when the sales are going to happen.
If ever.
They have full control of where the investment is going to go in QA as well, which can be a very money-intensive process.
Because you got
how many people you're using.
Yeah, you got to think of, like, and again, we talked about this last week, that Nintendo does not have, in my opinion, does not have a competitor. Nintendo is in its own market. They are in a very different market for games. But think about a BR game, just as an example. I know we keep hashing on BR. If you want to make a BR game and make money, how do you do it right now in this market? You have to make it free. You have to. It has to be free. Same with, I would say, same with a MOBA, probably, right? Right, sort of like to break into that market.
Yeah,
it's so saturated. You would have to either have microtransactions for like cosmetic stuff or whatever, or a battle pass. That's the only way to really, like, I think, to put a financial incentive on the game.
Before
or loot boxes and
or
hope
the
for
loot
whales.
boxes.
Loot boxes, I think. I know Recusor said they're in Dota, but with all the legal stuff that's happened over the last little while, with different countries banning them and stuff like that, I've heard less about them.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Like ever since the
Battlefront
fiasco-
2 is what the straw that broke the
I was going to
camel's
say
back.
Battlefront 2 was the last major one I heard that was like really predatory. That is predatory. Like that was bad.
Oh yeah.
Can I just put? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
thought you were done. Sorry.
No,
No,
go
you
ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, imagine for a moment Call of Duty, with a new map sponsored by Disney World, and you're fighting in Disney World, right? And it's just ads at that stage, right? Like they can have. Have you guys heard about some of this? Where they have had some games, and they still have some games where the ads are being piped in automatically, like live ads that can be tailored while you're playing games like GTA 5 and things like that. I don't think GTA 5 is actually doing that, but they were talking about that in other games as well. So corporate sponsorship is another way to do that too.
I know in some sports games they were doing that. I know I think it was Madden.
Yes.
They were changing up what was on the field and stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
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 So that
That's
is one way.
fascinating.
But before, like, battle passes weren't always around, right? I mean, League of Legends has been out since what, 2012 or something, maybe even before that. But
Was Fortnite the first to do it?
So, the trivia question later actually has to do with this. So we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. I'm not going to say which one it was. And if you have any opinions, don't say anything yet either. But, so we'll come back to that. But Fortnite is what popularized it. But they were around before that, but not nearly as prevalent as they are now. But like I said, League of Legends before was massive. That used to be like the biggest game on the planet, and it's still big. But they didn't have a battle pass system. They just had microtransactions for skins and stuff like that, and they made a boatload, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Fortnite could have done the same thing, just have a skin system that you can buy stuff on a store or whatever. But obviously, the battle pass launched them into making billions and billions of dollars. So. But
I think the part of the battle pass for the BR model came in because, and I think why it appealed to us so much is the game, like battle royale games on their own they're just the same thing over and over and over again. There's no real, it's very repetitive, and there's not really a sense of purpose. Mm-hmm. So by putting a battle pass in with quests, different things you have to do, making you drop in different parts of the map, making you use different weapons, making you like all these different requirements to get the skins that you want and stuff. It adds a layer to the game. So that was more of why I was wondering if it was the first. I was wondering if it actually was, it was adopted well within that game, and then it went into other games and maybe did not fare as well because other companies are trying to capitalize on yet that model, right? Because it's a cash cow when it's done right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Worth noting, maybe briefly, is with the newest Dota 2 Battle Pass, it also introduced guilds again for the first time in ages, and this is something that's been asked for a long time. You can join a guild without the battle pass, but in order to make a guild, you have to have a battle pass.
Okay, interesting.
So that's another issue too, right? If battle passes are hiding regular things that should be available for anybody, if they're hiding behind a paywall, like, is that an issue?
I mean, in that game, they hadn't had it, and it's already a free game. And I feel like now here's a question that would answer this for me too, is once this season is over, do you get to keep your guild? Imagine if you had to get every battle pass moving forward in order to maintain your guild status as you're unlocking these achievements and contracts for them. Yeah, that would suck.
That'd be rough, yeah. I think we kind of touched on this, but like, if battle passes are pay to enjoy, meaning like if the game is basically unplayable unless you get the battle pass, do you think that game is worth playing at all?
Depends on if you enjoy it. I mean, again, if it's a free game and you don't like it in its free form, you don't have to play it. You know?
Like for example, if it's a game where like you get experience points, and like if you get the battle pass, you get 10 times the amount of experience. Like you get XP boosts and you get like extra skill points and things like that. Like, do battle passes like this belong in the in games, or do you think like they should purely just be like cosmetics and things like that?
Man, that's actually a hard question, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if a game needs you to level up to advance that much to enjoy it, to enjoy the core gameplay experience, I don't know.
Yeah, you could put that in, like, I read about single player games and stuff all the time. In I think one is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on Switch, and people are like, "This is the best game in the world," but you've got to get 45 hours in to start enjoying it.
Yeah,
Right?
Huh.
Are these big like long RPG games that are hundreds of hours long, so you can make the
Right.
same. Like it's yeah. I think I think I think the big differentiator for me on it, and where I draw the line, is there has to be a free model for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
so you're saying
I think.
yeah, go ahead, Athrikus.
I think. I don't think that I can't think of an example where the actual game would be crap unless you buy like a battle pass. But I certainly don't think that would be. I think that would hurt the company a lot, because you get the people to buy your stuff by showing them a good game for free, and then they love it and they want to put money into it. So they're just going to hurt themselves if they do that. So
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm just thinking of a game like where you progress. Like I know Battlefront 2 was kind of like that, where like if you didn't get loot boxes, you basically like couldn't play the game. So if there's a battle pass that's similar to that, where it was like you start leveling up and you start getting like cool skill points to do more skills, and like you're trying to play with your friends, but you need to get the battle pass in order to actually level up at a sensible pace, then like I don't know. I don't know if that would be a good model or not, right?
I don't know if it depends on the definition of a sensible pace.
Yeah. Because like I would actually argue, just to put it out there, like if a game is if I have a company and I've invested hundreds of man hours into making a product, and I make it available for free, and then I say, if you're enjoying this and you want to enjoy it more and see more features, you pay me money. That seems like a pretty good model, right? Like, I don't know.
So then is the base game basically just a glorified demo though, and it's not really free?
Yeah, that would be a strong argument. I would agree with that, honestly. Yeah, if it was laid out like that. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, fair enough. Just because we're starting to run out of time a little bit, but one question I did want to touch on was, like, because battle passes are getting more widespread, it seems like more and more games are getting them. Do casual gamers suffer because of this? So, for example, Arebus and I are dads, and our gaming time is severely limited to what it used to be. So does that limit the choices of games we have the more that widespread this becomes? Because like Recusor, you were saying that you had battle passes in multiple games and you only got 20% into some of them, right? And then like that's a lot of rewards you're not getting, whereas if it was just straight up DLC, you would have got all that stuff, right? So instead you're forced to invest so much time. So are casual gamers kind of being left in the dust here? Anyone have thoughts on that one?
I would say so if what was being provided boosted the leveling, as an idea. But see, if it's boosting the leveling, just to go back to the previous example you were giving, if it's boosting the leveling and I choose to get the battle pass and I'm playing only that game, that actually makes more sense as a casual gamer, doesn't it? Because it means you can advance quicker within the same amount of time.
If you're only playing that game,
exactly.
Yes, that's the thing. Right, and this goes back to battle passes kind of sucking you in and encouraging you to play their game. But it's similar to subscription fees and stuff like that, so it's not much different.
It really depends what you get out of a game. You'd have to. I think if I bought, like, with my time, I'm just trying to think, like, with my limited time, if you guys were, the problem is I can't think of the game. It kind of goes back to I haven't played a game where there's a gate on progression within the game that's tied to the battle pass. Like if I was playing a game, yes, and there was a battle pass that everybody got and I didn't get, or I just couldn't commit the time, and everybody else pulled ahead of me because of said battle pass, and I just couldn't compete or play or do the same things as they could do. But the battle pass doesn't really interfere with, in any of the games I've played, it doesn't interfere with any of your enjoyment of the game. I could play an hour of Fortnite a week or 20 hours of Fortnite a week, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to lend any thoughts, Athrikus? I wanted to touch on another point too, but I want to make sure.
Go ahead.
So, have you guys heard of the idea of a Skinner box?
Nope.
No.
So it has to do with experiments that were done in the 20th century, where 21st century. I mix up my centuries sometimes. What can I say? It was a rat doing an action and getting a reward. Right? In some cases it would be food. In other cases it might actually be like something that would generate dopamine, like a drug of some kind. And a lot of game models nowadays are literally designed to do that to us. When you get that reward, it's like, okay, great. And then I'm going to keep playing to get the next reward.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue that comes up is the social aspect and the progression aspect. That's the biggest issue. If you want to get that feeling of accomplishment and success and forward movement on something that you care about, that's where it becomes more of a predatory issue, I feel.
Yeah.
It's like they know when they're sucking people in. They have designed this to suck people in.
Well, this is where we got into the achievement podcast a couple years ago when we said that, like, we had, people, I think Keltharr or somebody was playing games without, remove the social aspect and was grinding out some ridiculous achievement that they had no interest in doing just to get that 100%, completion of said game, right?
Right.
So it was interfering with the social aspect because you'd see your buddies on and, you just wanted to do this mindless thing just because you were on that rat, the hamster on the wheel, just, chasing after the whatever and getting that done. So that's the other thing too, that I haven't run into is the battle passes have all been that I've played have all been by playing a reasonable period of time, you can max out your battle pass. Like, none of them have been absolutely ridiculous that I've played where, it's kill 1,000 enemies with your left, pinky in a game. And then it takes away your enjoyment of the game. I haven't had any of that happen, but
No, that's a good point, and that actually segues really well into my next point, just so we can start to wrap up the topic. But I just wanted to break it down. So, what makes a battle pass good? So, if a battle pass is in a game, what makes it good? So, Arebus, you just said as long as it's the time it takes to complete the battle pass is not a ridiculous amount of time, then that's a good start. Yes.
The reward should be. If they put a 45-day, if they have a 45-day season, I should be able to get level 100 in that season within, if I'm playing a few hours a day in the game and I'm going pretty good, like pretty hard, not ridiculous, but 3, 4, 5 hours a day in a game, I should be able to get max out the battle pass, in my opinion. But
you say 3, 4, or 5 hours a day?
That's a long time.
That's a lot.
It wasn't back before we had kids.
No, I understand.
What are you guys talking about?
It's true though. Mark's right. Like,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 hours a day is nothing. We used to play 12 hours a day. But
That was great. I miss those days.
Those were the days.
But playing.
Oh, yeah.
But if I can't achieve what other people can achieve, if I'm willing to Recusor's point, if I'm if I pick that one game with my limited time and I'm like, I'm focusing 100% on this game, I should be able to get to max it out. If it's designed where if you're not playing 12 hours a day or something ridiculous like that, you have to pay to max out your tiers, then it starts to become predatory. Because if I really want that John Wick skin, but in order to get it, I've got to pay money because it's designed for me to lose my life to the game, then it's then I wouldn't support it.
And that's,
but
because it is a good point, right? Because you want to be able to appease the hardcore gamers too, because if the hardcore gamers can breeze through a battle pass in a few days, then that's not really good either. And that goes back to when people were arguing that WoW is becoming more and more casual, and making gear so easy to get. Like that takes a lot of the reward away from hardcore gamers, right? So the battle pass should be appealing to both casual, like you said, and hardcore gamers too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Athrikus, what else do you think makes a battle pass actually good?
Well, just to that point, I don't know if I totally agree. I don't think it should. I think the game itself should be competitive and kind of allow the casual and the competitive people to go at it and both get something out of it. But I think the battle pass should be more focused towards the casual gamer, especially if it's just cosmetics and obviously it can't be like just super casual and 10 minutes you get it. But I mean, even like to what Arebus was saying, 3, 4, 5 hours. Obviously, if you're playing 5 hours a day, I think you should definitely be able to get max battle pass. I would argue that if you're playing 2 hours a day and you do that consecutively for the 45, 50 days, you should be able to just hit 50.
Yeah.
But does that take the appeal off the John Wick skin you would get at Fortnite if everybody can get it so easily?
But I think with Athrikus's point is there's other ways for the competitive gamers to get, like, you could put stuff in that game that, for example, like in Call of Duty, there's specific things which I think would appeal more to a competitive gamer anyways. There's specific things within the game you need to do. Get 10 kills without dying. Do this without get 3 kills with a rocket launcher while you've got a pistol stuffed down your throat or something stupid like that. It's a bad example.
What games are you playing?
But there's things that you can do for the competitive gamers within the game that are actually built within the game that doesn't affect me as a casual gamer. But the battle pass in its current model, we're talking about battle passes. We're not talking about competitive versus casual. We're just talking about a feature in a game being accessible to everybody. And I think that you shouldn't overlap. You shouldn't limit the casual gamer. If anything, you can appease the competitive gamer through other aspects of the game rather than negatively impact the casual game. Because what else, if you don't have a battle pass set up, the only other way to do it, I think, would be to have 2 separate battle passes. Like, you'd have to have some kind of like a competitive battle pass or like a battle pass.
A lot of games do have a free battle pass too that you can unlock stuff. Now it's usually obviously not as robust.
They're pretty terrible. Most of the ones I've seen are pretty bad. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just quickly, I feel like just like what Arebus was saying, just to finish on that, the competitive gamer should be rewarded for playing the game the most. If you can buy a battle pass, you're spending $10, it should be pretty easy to get to the end because you're paying for it. Whereas, if you want to unlock that obsidian camo, then you're going to put the hours into it and show off that way.
You just articulated exactly how I was trying to. I was hoping to really debate with you, but I feel like I'm agreeing with you on everything today. Yeah. But you hit the nail on the head. It's I bought that battle pass, so as a casual gamer, it doesn't say anything about, like, I should be able to attain what is outlined in that battle pass. As long, unless the battle pass is built competitively. So maybe the tiers of the battle pass don't level up based on just experience. Maybe it's based on doing things within the game that are difficult, but it should clearly articulate that before you buy it. So you know what you're buying. But yeah, that's exactly what it is.
What if they had something where you could pay like $40 to unlock the entire battle pass, like at the start of the season? Or
but they do stuff like they have like I think I did it in Fortnite one season because I started late. That you pay like $25 instead of the normal $10, and it skips 25 or 30 tiers.
Well, it's not even just that. That is a thing, and they just put it in the store for Call of Duty. But at least in Fortnite, at any point you can buy a level.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, interesting.
So I went ahead and I booted up DOTA while we were doing this, and I have
spent $400.
I've gone to the purchase screen and I've maxed out what I can possibly buy. Would you like to know? Would you like to guess how much?
$2,000.
How much it would cost to buy everything?
Like on one screen, when it comes to purchasing levels, who said 2,000?
Arebus.
Arebus? $1,957 Canadian. And
man.
I'm pretty sure I could go again. It basically says repeating rewards. So it's literally infinite.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That is
I'm not going to
wild.
click purchase. I'm going to
Please
cancel
don't.
this transaction.
Yeah, don't show that to your buddy. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we can agree that if the core game is solid, like it's fun, like Fortnite, for example, as long as the game is good and it's fun to play, even if you don't pay a cent, then that's good for sure. If you can earn cool, do you think you should be able to earn some cool stuff without buying the battle pass, or do you think you should have to still buy the battle pass to get
You should be able to earn everything.
without buying the battle
Almost
pass?
everything. Yes, you should be able to. You should certainly be able to earn awesome shit that's extremely difficult to get
Yeah,
without
Through
buying the battle
skill.
pass through skill. Yes,
through
or time. At least a lot of time.
just like a
Which
lot
Fortnite
of
does not. Which Fortnite does not have.
You're right. That's true.
Okay,
Call of Duty
interesting.
does, but Fortnite does not have.
No, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
true.
if-
But you don't pay for Fortnite. You don't. Whereas you're paying $68 to $80 for COD.
No,
to
I'm saying in Warzone. In Warzone, you'd have.
Can you not go camo in Warzone? I don't think you can. I don't think you
Gold,
can.
I'm not thinking of gold. I'm thinking of just general. Isn't there's stuff you can do in Warzone to unlock stuff for your character, isn't there? That's built into the game.
Don't know.
I don't know. I'd look
I'm
at
not
it.
sure.
But yes, either way, yes, yeah.
And if we say the battle pass simply gives you more cool stuff, but is not necessary to have fun, I think we can agree that those are good aspects of a battle pass. Yes.
Certainly.
Yeah. So let's switch gears for a second. What would make a battle pass like really bad? Like be like, oh my god, I'm never playing this game. That is a
A
horrible.
battle pass would be really bad if it was exact like what I said before about the like I remember the Old Republic. I think it was the Old Republic. One of those MMO games. They stripped away everything and offered this free to play model that was terrible, really bad, and like restricted so many things that basically was shoving in your face constantly. You need to get the subscription. You need to get the subscription. So it if they put a battle pass in place where like for the 30 days or whatever you can, it's almost like I keep going back to like battle royales, but like in any game really, if you're locked in a location, like I could just picture if I was online and I was playing a game where the battle pass, if there was any restriction for me playing with my friends in any capacity, because I didn't have the battle pass, that would be a no go for me. Like
So if there's social restrictions,
if there's social restrictions, or my buddies were like, okay, we're going to do this map, we really want to play this map right now, or we want to use, we want to play this game mode, we want to do whatever, and I can't do it because I don't have the battle pass, that to me is too, it's not good enough.
Yeah. No, for sure. What about if experience? Sorry, go ahead, Athrikus. I think you were going to say something.
I think for me, definitely what Arebus said. But on top of that, obviously, and this is just the obvious, but anything that's going to give you any sort of competitive advantage whatsoever, even absolutely tiny.
Yeah. So that comes into the whole pay to win kind of thing.
Certainly, and I think it was. I feel like Black Ops 4 had certain guns that you could only get if you bought the battle pass for that season.
Really? So you're literally stronger if you have the battle pass.
Not necessarily stronger, but you have something that no one else can have, and it's a vital tool in the game. It might not be the best gun, but it's a gun that you won't be able to use otherwise, and it could be tweaked to have some sort of advantage in certain situations that you can't have with another gun that you can use.
Yeah. That sounds brutal. What about if experience gained is super slow, unless you buy the pass?
Experience for what, though?
So just to put it out there, like in, I guess I'll say Battlefield 1, right? World War I Battlefield game that came out. I'm not sure if you guys played that, but very similar to Star Wars in that what's a Battlefront? The latest Battlefront game. As you're playing, you're unlocking weapons, right? If you're stuck with the worst weapons in a competitive environment, and the only way to unlock those weapons is to either play for 10 hours or buy the battle pass, that sucks, because that's a competitive difference, Once you played for that 10 hours, if you can get through that, You know, like sure you can get a step up and then maybe another step up, but in terms of experience gain, that's one of the only reasons I could see that it would suck.
Yeah, no, for sure. Another thing too, I think if quests force you to do painful objectives that take fun away from the game, I know, similar to Fortnite, I guess. But Fortnite, some of the Fortnite things are fun to do, but if it's like random stuff that like is just completely annoying to do, like, do you guys think that's kind of a good thing? Or
I'll share from Dota. One thing that Dota adds is quests, but it's quests such as win a game using this hero. And if you go into a game using a hero you've never used before, more fun might be something that happens. Losing horribly and having your team yell at you is another thing that is more likely to happen, though. And it can be a very toxic environment already. If it's urging you to play in ways that you're not good at, I could see some people might like that, but I don't think I do.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I think it goes to the achievement discussion. I think if the battle pass if the quests are lazy and they just, they just say kill 1,000 or 1,500 of this enemy, or like very generic type stuff that you can tell they're just trying to prolong the battle pass, prolong the 45 days by making you, just adding a lot of quantity instead of quality to what you need to do. I wouldn't like that very much, but at the same time, it's an optional part of the game, so it's not. I mean, they can really do anything with it as long as they're not impact. Like the nice thing about a battle pass when it's done correctly is if I don't agree or like what they're doing with the game, if I can just play the free version or whatever version of the game I have, and just play it and enjoy the game for what I have it for. The battle pass to me is almost like a little icing on the cake of what you have. You're already playing. It's not the core.
If it just adds to your experience, but you don't need it, then
yeah,
I think we can pretty much agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts on the battle pass before we move on? Any other thoughts? Do you guys overall like the battle pass model, or do you think like they should make some new changes? Like, because it's becoming more rampant, more and more games are getting it. So, like, are you guys okay with that?
I'm okay with it as long as there's no laziness. As long as it keeps. I think for certain games it's not going to translate well. And I think even with Fortnite and with other games, there's been battle pass seasons where they've been heavily criticized for not having good things in place to make the battle pass a little bit more engaging, or having good unlocks or good creativity involved. So I'm cautiously optimistic that they're good. I mean, for dead games and for games that don't have much else to do, or they're kind of dying, putting a battle pass in and can reignite or re-trigger a game and get all your friends back playing the same game. So I like them, but the developers have to be careful with them.
I think you made a good point there. As long as the rewards are actually worth getting, because if Fortnite just puts in a bunch of crap rewards and there's like 8-year-old kids going to buy the battle pass every single season anyway, no matter what the rewards are, like, then that's where Fortnite has to be careful, right? Because then if they wouldn't get a very good rep if they just keep putting out like terrible looking skins and weapons and stuff. So
yeah,
as long as the effort is there.
I guess that goes back to the whales. Like, eventually games tend to do that. They start running out of ideas, so they just put crap in their battle passes or crap in their boxes, and they don't care anymore because they have a base, a whale base that's just going to buy it every time. And usually that's closer to the end of the cycle of the game.
Yeah.
Or at the beginning if you're Star Citizen.
That's true.
That's very true. I looked that up. I got it right here. The most expensive ship. It's you can take a guess as to how much it is.
$125,000.
No, it's $2,000, $2,500.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's only $2,000. Come on.
It's only $2,000 for a ship that they say is not a competitive advantage, and they made over $500,000 in a week on the first week that came out.
Okay, my main question is: can you fly this ship in the game yet?
I don't know. I'm sure.
I don't know.
Wait, what? That's a pre-order?
I don't know if this is a pre-order, but
everything is really a pre-order with Star Citizen.
Yeah, you might want to do a new episode on it. Honestly, I'm not impressed with the whole enterprise. Honestly,
no.
I won't get into that.
Would you rather spend $2,000 on a ship or $2,000 on that store page Recusor was on for Dota 2?
I'd personally rather buy a car, but that's just me.
whole new computer, maybe too, right?
Yeah.
Top-notch computer. Yeah.
A lot better for 2,000 grand.
Yeah.
Like 2,000
$2,000, yeah.
I can't imagine
Maybe my
spending that
mortgage.
kind
You know,
of, like,
Yeah.
no matter how addicted I was to a game, like I'd have to really check myself and be like, that's a lot. buy a lot of
that
cool
buddy of
stuff.
mine who did that, I hope he's okay. We don't play that
Yeah.
many games anymore. He literally after he did that, he started like doing the tournament mode in Dota, and it's like, all right, well, good luck.
I hope
And
he's
I,
at least
haven't
good
talked
at the
to him
game.
since. Yeah.
I can't remember what game it was, but I know my brother dropped. It may have been over the course of 2 or 3 games, but he looked back into all of it, and he had a problem. He dropped about $4,000,
Wow.
and he
Whoa.
didn't. He was over the course of a year. I think it was Grand Theft Auto, and he definitely he had nothing else to buy, so he just started chunking money into it.
Has anybody looked at their Steam calculator yet, just to get disappointed in your life lately?
No.
that
Yeah,
a thing?
I've done it before.
Yeah.
It is.
It shows what your games are.
Or what it's worth.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. No,
And
for
like your
sure.
average play time, how many games you've never played. I have 119 games that I've never played.
Is this in Steam? Is this in Steam
No,
somewhere?
no.
It's a website.
No, it's
okay,
a website.
nice.
Yeah, we can look at that after for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know that's depressing. But yeah, so I think I'd like to move on to the trivia segment of the show because we are running out of time for sure. But I would really like to ask this question that I forgot to write down in my little notepad here, but I do have it on my phone. Just give me 1 second here. But it does have to do with battle passes, as I said. So I need to make sure I can see your hands. No Googling. So put your hands up. There we go. Okay. I trust you guys. So, what was the very first game to introduce a battle pass type system? And I will list the multiple choice in a second. And we are keeping score for this every week. And I realize not everyone's on the cast all the time, but that's besides the point. So,
Question.
yes.
Do we like shout out our answer or?
Okay, yeah, sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna go one by one. If you do know the answer for sure, like without a doubt, just say that first so I don't pick you first because I want that person to go last. Yeah, so don't shout out the answer at all. So again, what was the very first game to introduce a Battle Pass type system? It might not have been called the Battle Pass, but it's basically the same model. Was it Team Fortress 2? Was it Dota 2? Was it Clash of Clans? Or was it World of Tanks? So again, what was the very first game to introduce this? So was it Team Fortress 2? Was it Dota 2? Was it Clash of Clans? Or World of Tanks? Does
I want
anybody...
to Google.
Do not Google.
I want to Google when they came out.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
don't
Some of the
know
games are older, but did they have the Battle Pass originally?
I know Dota 2 is one of the first, I think. But
Yeah.
I kind of want to say Team You said Team Fortress, right?
So okay, we'll start with you, Athrikus. So no one knows for sure, I'm assuming.
No.
No. Okay, so Athrikus, we'll start with you if that's cool. So what are your thoughts?
I guess I'll go with Team Fortress. You said it was Team Fortress 2?
Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
Okay. Recusor, will go to you next.
I want to say Clash of Clans because free mobile gaming is huge. I don't like it, but I can't argue with how much of a player base there is. I'm going to go with Clash of Clans, honestly.
Okay. And Arebus.
I was gonna go with Clash of Clans as well. I thought it was either. What was the other mobile game you said?
So it's, I think that was the only one. There's Team Fortress 2, Dota 2, Clash of Clans, and World of Tanks.
World of Tanks.
World of Tanks is. I thought that was a mobile game. It's not. I forgot. That's a
It's
PC game.
It's some kind of MMO. Is it an MMO? I don't know. Anyways.
It could. I would be between those two. I don't know if World. No, actually, no. World Tanks. I don't think would have had one. I think Clash of Clans as well. I think I think it would be a good guess to think that maybe had started in the mobile realm years ago and worked its way in. And Clash of Clans has been around for a while. So that's my guess.
So our answers are locked in. So for the second week in a row, nobody got the right answer. Okay, Okay.
It's what I think of it.
I should have looked this up. I completely forgot, but I don't have the years for all of them. But
Okay.
this battle pass was introduced in 2013 for this game.
Dota.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Dota as well.
And
I
Recusor,
searched
I
that
thought
up.
you would have had this. I thought you would have slam dunked this
Well,
one.
in my research, I knew Dota had a battle pass in 2013. So as soon as you said the year, I knew it was Dota.
Okay.
But
Yeah. So before that, no one was really doing it, right? And all these games are doing it now. And if I was asked this question without knowing, I probably would have thought Team Fortress 2 because that game's been around forever, right? So I figured they would have caught on. But yeah, like I said, Fortnite popularized it in 2018, but 2013, 5 years before, they
Trivia is too difficult.
Yeah, it's tough.
Clearly.
don't want it to be
that Clash
too
of Clans was a good mobile question. The mobile aspect absolutely captured my attention there.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
No, for sure.
Does Clash of Clans have one now?
Yeah, it does.
Ah.
Yeah,
Ah,
I don't know anything about that game, but
I don't know.
I looked
I
up
don't want
games
to.
with battle passes, and the games that first had it, and that was Dota 2 showed up.
That's interesting. Cool.
Yeah, so hopefully someone will actually get Netza right next episode. We'll see.
That's awesome.
I think we're gonna have to wrap it up there, unless anyone has any final thoughts they want to throw in about anything. Doesn't matter what it is.
Can I wax philosophical? Can I end with a profound statement? Is that allowed? Or an attempt at a profound statement?
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. I'll just do all this housekeeping stuff first. So, if you want to listen to the audio podcast for us guys, we're on anchor.fm/I never cast for this. We're also on most major podcast platforms, as I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. You can always listen, or you can always watch us live on twitch.tv/I never cast for this at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays, every Monday. And you can leave us a review on I don't believe we're on Apple Podcasts yet, but when we are, you can leave a review for us. If you really liked us, leave a 5-star review. If you hated us, leave a 1-star and tell us how we can get better. We're also on Facebook, so you can like our Facebook page and have discussions on there. If you have any questions for any of the cast members here, or if you just have a question for the cast in general, or a trivia question you want to submit, email at inevercastforthis@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at inevercast4, the number 4, this. And you can follow me on Twitter as well at Keltharr. Do any of you have anything you want to plug or any social media you want to go with? So, Recusor, we'll start with you, and if you want to be philosophical here, you certainly can.
I'm playing a lot of Mortal Kombat. I might get a Twitch channel soon. I might be able to share more of that information if I'm invited onto the next cast, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, this was the last one. Goodbye. No. We'd love to have you back, man. You're awesome. No, you always bring some great points. So, thanks for being here, man.
So glad I could.
Yeah, Arebus. Besides your, well, go ahead. I'm sure you're going to bring up your Twitch stream again.
Yeah, it's still pretty accurate. I just went to it and it says Arebus is offline, which is accurate. And it says competitive gaming enthusiast, business professional by day, gamer by night. Chat engagement is a priority. I'm down to 342 followers now, and I have one video called "Drunk Arebus Falls Asleep." So it has 112 views. I'm hoping to get that to 115 within the next 3 weeks. So if you guys can check it out, that would be awesome. But no, you never know. I might stream on there again. But the best thing you can do for me is give me a follow on my unused Twitch channel if you're interested.
You have Twitter as well, don't you?
My Twitter is not as much of a success story as my Twitch is.
Right on. And Athrikus, how about you? Anything? I know you said you were a ghost last week. Has that changed in the last week?
I got nothing for now. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
See what happens. Cool. Any final thoughts from anybody before we sign off?
Just that some people have more money than sense, and I think I'm one of those people sometimes. When it comes to spending money on these battle passes, goodness gracious me, oh my.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Trying to tie it back a little bit.
Yes. No, for sure. So anyways, battle passes are good if used properly. That's basically the gist of what we got here. So again, if you're watching on, if you listened or watched, I should say, on Twitch, thanks for those viewers that kept the chat rolling. We appreciate you. And yeah, so thanks everybody for listening / watching this week, and we will see you next week.
Now the real podcast.